Hi everyone, it's Jeff here from Avada. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're looking at how to use the Avada Tabs element. By the end of this video, you'll understand how you can use the Tabs element to present tabbed content on your site in various ways. If you find this helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe, and click the bell icon to stay up to date with all new Avada videos. Alright, let's jump in. The Tabs element is a parent and child element that allows you to add vertical or horizontal tabs on your page. It's a great way of presenting a lot of information in a compact space. And with Avada 7.16, it got some new features, so let's check it out. I've imported the Extreme Sports Prebuilt site here, and to get an idea of how this element works, let's change out this postcard element displaying the sports to a tab element instead. So I'll just delete the postcards element here and add a tabs element. The element opens on the Children tab, and as we can see, there is one child already added. These hold the content for the actual tabs. So let's start by adding some content. I'll just edit the existing item here. This one will be called mountain biking. There's also an option for a tab description, which is only shown while this tab is active and slides open as the tab is selected. Vertical tabs place it under the tab title inside the tab itself. Horizontal tabs place it between the tab row and the content, because a single taller tab would leave the row ragged. For my example, I'm not going to use a tab description. The next option is icon, and here I could choose an individual tab icon. If you wanted all tabs to use the same icon, you can set that on the General tab, but for this example I don't think I will have any icons. So I will skip the icon color option as well and move to the tab content option. This is where you add the content of the individual tabs. You can add plain text, HTML, or Avada shortcodes here. You can also use the Avada Builder element generator in the editor to add single elements, but if you want more complex layouts, it's easier to just build your content on another page and then paste it into the editor here. If you just want your content to be in one column, you only need to add the elements you want, but if you want a two-column layout like I do, you need to create your content in nested columns, as the containing tab element is already in a column. So I will come across to my content page, where I have used the builder to create the content I want to add to the tabs. Note how these are all nested column elements. I'll just right click on the first one here and copy, and come back to my tabs element. I will go to the text tab here on the editor, as that's always better when pasting code, and paste my copied nested column in. And there it is. We can't see the text at this point as it's white, and I've designed my content to be on a dark background, but we will get to that in a minute when we configure the element. I'll just come back to the Children tab and add 5 more tabs here. Now just give me a minute while I populate the others. Okay, so now we have our 6 tabs. It's time to configure and style this element, so let's move to the General tab. The first option here is Design. The tabs element offers 2 designs, Classic and Clean. By default it's using the Classic design, but the Clean design is going to work better for me, so I'm going to select that. Yeah, that's better. Now we can see my white text. The next option is Layout. This controls whether the tabs are horizontal or vertical, so you have plenty of control over your layout. On the services page of the Construction Prebuilt site, we can see a good example of vertical tabs, but for this one I'll keep it horizontal. Justify tabs is next, and this just controls whether the actual tab size to fit the width of the element. If you set it to no, there's also an option for tabs alignment. Here I want the tabs to stretch across the element, so I'll leave it on Justify. The next option is Tab Title Alignment. With this you can choose how the icon and title are aligned within each tab. Space between pushes the icon and the title to opposite edges, so it only differs from start when an icon is used. Leave on default to keep centered titles on horizontal tabs and start aligned titles on vertical tabs. This option is most useful together with a minimum tab width or with justified tabs. The next option is Sticky Tabs, and this makes the tabs navigation stick on scroll. This is particularly useful when there is a lot of tab content, but here I won't need it. The next option is called Update URL on Tab Change. What this does, if set to yes, is to write the selected tab into the page address, so you can copy a link that opens on that tab. This is useful if you want to add a link somewhere to a specific tab. The address is replaced rather than added to the browser history, so the back button still leaves the page. I might set that to yes. Content Transition is next, and with this you can choose how the tab content changes when a different tab is selected. The options are None, Fade, Slide and Zoom. If you select Fade or Zoom, you get a transition speed option, and if you select Slide, you also get a transition direction option. The outgoing content always finishes before the incoming one starts, so the two never overlap. I'm happy with the defaults here. Then comes a new feature from Avada 7.16, Auto Rotate Tabs. The options here are off, desktop, mobile, or both. I might just select desktop. What this does is to automatically switch to the next tab after a set interval. That's the rotation interval, and here the default is 5 seconds. If you use this on mobile, the rotation carries over to whichever mobile mode is set, moving through the accordion or toggle headers there. Rotation starts once the element scrolls into view, pauses on hover and keyboard focus, and is switched off for visitors who prefer reduced motion. Okay, after rotation interval comes pause on hover. This is on by default, and I think that makes sense. Then there's a resume after interaction option. As the description explains, with this you choose whether rotation continues after a visitor selects a tab themselves. When set to no, rotation stops for good on this first interaction. Again, I think that makes sense, so I'll leave this on no. There's also a play/pause button option, with which you can show a play/pause button above the tabs, so visitors can stop the rotation. This is recommended as an accessibility aid, but here I will leave it on no. Then comes a few icon options. You can set an icon here, which would then be used on all tabs, or as we saw, you can set them individually on the child items themselves. There's also an option for icon position and one for icon size, but I'm not going to use icons here. Below this is the usual element visibility option, which allows you to show or hide the element on various screen sizes, and the CSS class and CSS ID options for further customization with custom CSS. The next tab is Design. There are over 20 styling options here to control everything from margins and padding through to typography and color. You can even add a gradient to the tab's background and control the rotation progress indicator style, position, and color. I won't go over every option as they will depend on your chosen design and what you want to do, but for my example, there are a few styling changes I want to make. To start, I'm going to change the tab's title tag to H3s here. Then I'm going to set the tab's title typography to the lead global typography set. I'm going to set the tab's title color to color 1. And I'm going to give my tab's title padding 20 pixels top and bottom padding to make these tabs a little bigger. I'm also going to set 15 pixels top left and top right border radius to give them a rounded look. I will set the tab's background gradient to yes, and set color 5 as the start color and color 7 as the end color, and I think I will move the gradient end position to around 75. Now for the content area, I'm going to set my content background color to color 7 and the border color to color 5. And with the rotation progress indicator style, as it says in the description, here you choose whether the progress fills the background of the active tabs or draws a line along its edge. Default uses a line on the classic design, drawn over the accent edge it already has, and a background fill on the clean design. I want a line here, so I will select that. Otherwise the defaults are all fine, and I'm now happy with the styling. So now let's go to the next tab, the Mobile tab. And here with the Mobile Mode option, you can determine if your tab's element should display as an accordion, a toggle, or a carousel when viewed on mobile. And so let's use the responsive controls to view this on a small screen as well, so we can get an idea of what it looks like. It's on the default here, which in this case is accordion. That only allows one tab to be open at once, and I think that will work best on mobile. I'm pretty sure I have too many tabs for it to look good on carousel mode on mobile, but if I do just choose that quickly, we can see there is also an option for sticky tabs with this view, which again can be useful for longer content. With this activated, the tab title will remain sticky while you scroll, making it easier to switch tabs. But yeah, this looks like it's only going to look good with 4 or less tabs. I will switch back to default, and I think it's time to save our work. Okay, so now let's go to the front end to see this fully in action. I'll just scroll down, and here's our tabs. If I just wait a bit, it starts to auto-rotate. In reality, there's too much text here for a 5-second auto-rotation, but I just wanted to show you how it works. If I hover over it, it pauses, and if I click another tab, the auto-rotation stops, and we now have manual control. And note how the URL now has a link for that particular tab. Okay, so that's the revised tabs element. It's a very useful element for showing a lot of information in a limited space, and there's almost no end to the ways you could utilize this useful and versatile element. And that's it for this video. If you found it helpful, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more Avada tutorials and deep dives. And if you have any questions or need help, feel free to create a support ticket. Our team is always ready to help. As always, thank you for choosing Avada.